I'm Lauren Green, and you're in the strategy room. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu blasted the framework for a nuclear agreement with Iran, putting him on a collision course with the U.S. and its allies. Critics say this deal will further hurt America's relationship with Israel. Well, here with reaction are political strategists David Mercer and Thomas Basile. Welcome to you both.
Good to be here.
Good to be with you.
David, let me start with you. Is this potential nuke agreement good or bad for the U.S.?
I think it's very good for the U.S. I think it's good for the Middle East, for Israel, and all involved. The P1, P5 plus one that have come to this framework and come up with a path to reducing the buildup, if you will, whether it be uranium, plutonium, ways for Iran to increase its nuclear capacity for war purposes. And I think we have a good framework to come up with the fine details in an agreement come June 30th.
All right, Tom, good or bad?
Well, you know, the most important thing that the president said yesterday was the word if. And he said it probably about a dozen times in his speech. Look, every time we've gone down the road and we've tried to make a deal, whether it's with North Korea, whether it was with Saddam Hussein through the UN, ultimately these rogue nations don't live up to their end of the bargain. And also the framework for how these inspections are going to be done also just doesn't pass the smell test, because what we've seen over and over is we tell them that we're coming, we give them the dates, we tell them where we're going to go, and then ultimately the regime has plenty of time to hide the ball. And so I don't think that this is ultimately going to be a good thing if it actually happens. And I think that, you know, these guys are very difficult to deal with, so we'll see if there is any semblance of a deal come June.
It sort of hinges on Iran sort of changing its spots in a sense. I mean, they've got to change what they've done before.
We're entering into an agreement with an inherently with another side that's inherently not trustworthy, and they have proven that time and time again. And we're going to make a deal, and then we're going to expect them to uphold their end of the bargain. You and I are going to be talking about this for a long time because, frankly, they're not going to.
All right, David, Israel remains opposed to this deal with Iran. I mean, are they right or are they wrong, or are they just, you know, needing to dig their feet into the ground on their in their position?
Well, I think there's divided opinion with regard to Israel. The voice we hear the loudest is Netanyahu. And we might remind the viewers that Netanyahu has been saying since 1992, that Iran is going to have a bomb in a year, or the next year, or the year after. It's better now that we are sitting at the negotiating table. And with regard to Tom's remarks, you know, Americans are very much supportive for a negotiated path as opposed to a path of war, and that some of the opponents to this agreement, either in Israel or whether it be in Iran or here, and you know, we all remember the war that we were led into by the GOP just years ago that did not go all that well. And one of the reasons why we are dealing with the emergence of Iran as an issue that we're now trying to tackle in a way that we have access to what they're doing more than we did before, that we are monitoring them, and at the same time having the sanctions still to be imposed on them should they not, as Tom had alluded to, should they not perform according to the outlines of the agreement.
And Tom, what do you say? Well,
again, there's already disagreement coming out of Iran as to whether or not they actually agreed to what the president announced to the world yesterday. So you're dealing with an actor that's not rational, and they've never performed rationally. And by the way, the American people probably, if you framed it in the sense of these are the same guys that are funding terrorism who were killing American troops over the last 10 years, and they were in Iraq, I was there, and we know that they were participating in that, they probably wouldn't be so thrilled about the president virtually begging Iran for a deal here.
You know,
well, if I might,
go ahead.
Lauren, if I might, those that Tom points to in Iran that are against the deal, those are the ones that want to pony up to having a combat or war. And it's just the same here with those opposed to a deal. They have no other alternative. They've not put an alternative on the table that gets to a peaceful solution. They only refer to the only way dealing with Iran is to go to war.
No, that's not true. That's
not
true because
that is very true.
No, it's
in
not,
fact, Senator McCain said yesterday, Tom, if I might finish, Senator McCain said yesterday that this agreement could possibly keep us, if need be, from going to war with Iran. That's how much they're inching to go to war on this. And 47 senators tried to put the kibosh on this whole deal. So we're seeking to have a pathway to peace that can maintain stability and neutralize any threat, not to promote it.
Okay, Tom, you get the last word.
Look, I think that we don't know what we're getting. Every time we tried to make one of these deals, the party that we've made it with has been given something and they have not given in return. And I think that we're going down this road with Iran. And again, this is a country that wants to see this country destroyed, wants to see Israel destroyed, and yet we are begging for a deal with them that ultimately there's very little shot that they're actually going to uphold their end of the bargain, but we will give concessions before they hold up their end of the deal.
We'll see what comes out.
And we're not begging,
June
we're
30th.
Negotiating. We're not begging, we're negotiating.
We'll see come June 30th. Thank you very much, David and Thomas. Thanks. Check out FoxNews.com for more on the Iran nuke talks. I'm Lauren Green, and thanks for watching.